E words in the alphabet of development come F words. I know where your minds are going, but that's not what I'm going to say. Like fallen trees, flooding, falling behind in payment, forced off land, failed in vision, futile to fight it any longer. But the F words we deserve to invoke and incorporate like some sort of 20-year partnership we devise with the land and all its denizens are fairness in process, feasible in study and application, far-reaching in vision, and thereby ensuring all those who presently live in mission and hope yet to inhabit its still beautiful and enviable aspects, a fantastic future. Thank you. Now I have 2 questions, please. My 2 questions to members on council or from the district are as follows. And I'll state them both and you can decide who would like to respond. Why aren't those environmental and DFO studies being done and having to be done before a first neighborhood plan is being chalked up and an horrific partnership being forged for the next 2 decades? That's number 1. Number 2 is, why is the tone of the Genstar Madison letters such that expropriation is deemed likely and incontrovertible? Is there already an existing agreement to this effect?
Can I have the first one answered, I believe, by Mike? Mike, if you could answer the first one.
I think I mentioned it last night as well, but a lot of the information that DFO was looking for in their letter comes when we know the exact locations of road layouts and that sort of thing. That's when we have an existing process with DFO where we vet the proposal, or usually at the subdivision scale. We vet the road locations and all that by them first, and there's a process in place where they have to authorize any harmful alteration, destruction of fish habitat. We don't have the exact location of those roads yet, so we don't know where that process is going to kick in at this point.
I understand the fish habitat part, but how about the potential impacts on the larger watersheds?
Well,
that doesn't seem that specific or tricky.
Well, I'm not sure I would agree it's not tricky. I think through this whole process, we have tried to identify the values, the environmental values on the hillside. Those were given to, they were peer reviewed by the district's consultants. They were given to the land use planners who took that information to try and avoid environmentally sensitive areas, to try and avoid crossing streams as much as they can. So the whole way through, there was an environmental evaluation done. We haven't, it's true an environmental impact assessment per se has not been completed, but there has been environmental evaluation and assessment of impacts all the way through the process.
But why do they feel then, as of October 17th, which was just a few days prior to this hearing, that has not been achieved to the extent that you would go ahead with a major development? Otherwise they wouldn't have written this letter.
No, I agree, and I don't think...
They're not saying, hey, great job, away you go with neighborhood 1.
Okay, can you respond then?
Sorry, yeah.
No, I think that's true, and the plan has not explicitly stated what those impacts are. The plan has been developed through a process of trying to minimize impacts, but it doesn't state, like a normal environmental impact assessment. That part hasn't been done.
Okay, well,
You had a second question, I'll ask staff Glenn.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the second question for me, please, so that I can get you on?
Mr. Mayor, I think the question was whether or not the district had entered into some sort of hidden agreement with Genstar about expropriating land.
Or even a proposed agreement, yeah.
Okay.
No, the only agreement that the district has negotiated with Genstar and Madison is the 20-year phase development agreement. There is nothing in there about expropriating land. In response to letters that were received from Genstar and Madison, Council was quite clear and emphatic that it was not going to renegotiate the terms of that agreement. And we've also been clear from the very beginning that Council cannot legally expropriate land on behalf of the developer. So
why would the developer ask for that then? And stipulate it quite aggressively? I find that very aggressive.
Well, that may be, and they may be asking for it, but the answer has been no, and it will be no, because Council, the District Commission, cannot legally expropriate land on behalf of the developer. It just can't be done.
Well, maybe not on behalf of, but did it not occur in the Cedar Valley development?
No, there was expropriation that took place in order to construct the Cedar Valley Connector, the road that runs from the Lougheed Highway out to and 7th Avenue and into the Cedar Valley area.
Well, wouldn't that be relevant to this kind of thing? There are going to be a lot of roads.
No,
No.
no.
Thank you, Marion.
Your Worship,
Appreciate your comments.
Your Worship,
Yes,
if I may, Marion,
Yes.
you've mentioned 3 letters. I think a 4th one might help you to understand this, and that is Council's written response to this Genstar letter, in which we explain that no, there will not be expropriation. There could not be, even if we were stupid enough to want to do it, because a council may not expropriate for a third party, and those roads will be built by Genstar, not us. When it was the Cedar Connector, that was a municipal road being built. These will not. These will be the developer building the road. So even if we were stupid enough to want to do it, we could not do it. That's one of the points there. But read that 4th letter, and perhaps that will help you to understand a little bit more the relevance of that letter from Genstar. Thank you, Your Worship.
thank you very much, Councillor Stevens. I'm going to move on to the next. Thank you very much, Marion.